Hello, I'm Professor Quill, and today we are going to learn new words with a mystery story. Why does the cat always stare at 5:05? Every afternoon at exactly 5:05, the cat next door sits on the small wooden fence behind our house. It does not move, it does not blink, it simply stares at one spot on the old brick wall. Every day, at the same time. For weeks I watched it from my window. At first, I thought it was just a funny habit, but then I started to wonder, what is this cat looking at? Why always 5:05? One warm afternoon, I decided to go outside and watch the cat up close. The air was quiet. The garden smelled of dry grass and mint leaves. The cat jumped onto the fence, turned its head, and stared at the same point again, 5:05 sharp. I looked at the wall. Nothing. Just brown bricks, a few cracks, and some old paint. No insects, no birds, no movement. Strange, I whispered. I stood next to the cat. It didn't react. Its yellow eyes were fixed on the wall. I waved my hand. Nothing. I tapped the wall gently. Still nothing. The cat only stared harder. The next day, I came back at the same time with a small notebook. I wanted to solve this mystery. At 4:30, I checked the wall. Nothing. At 4:45, the wall still looked normal. At 5 o'clock, the sunlight began to change. It became softer and warmer. Shadows stretched across the yard. At 5:03, I noticed a thin line of bright light sliding across the wall. At 5:04, the line grew wider. At 5:05, something happened. A strange shape appeared on the wall. A shadow, no, a reflection, formed slowly. It was the shape of a fish, a perfect fish. The tail, the body, the head, all clear. The sunlight hit a small metal pipe near the roof, bounced down, and created this shining fish on the wall. The cat's eyes widened, and it made a small sound. Now it made sense. The cat wasn't staring at nothing. It was staring at a fish-shaped reflection made by the sun. I smiled. The mystery was solved. But one thing still bothered me. Why did this reflection appear only at 5:05? I started examining the metal pipe. It was old, scratched, and slightly bent. It looked like someone had hit it years ago. The bend made the sunlight reflect at a very specific angle. Only when the sun was low in the sky, right at 5:05, did the reflection hit the wall perfectly. To test my theory, I came out early the next day with a small mirror. At different minutes, I reflected light on the wall. The cat followed every movement. When I shaped the reflection to look like the fish, the cat stared even harder. The next afternoon, I waited again. 5:05. The fish-shaped light appeared. The cat froze. But this time, something new happened. The reflection slowly moved to the right, climbing up the wall higher than before. I followed it with my eyes and saw that the light hit a small spot on the bricks, a tiny hole I had never noticed before. Curious, I looked closer. Inside the hole was a piece of folded paper. I pulled it out carefully. It was very old, yellow and dusty. I opened it slowly, and the handwriting was shaky but clear. It said, "If you are reading this, you found the secret at exactly the right time. I bent the pipe so the sun would show you the way. Look behind the brick below." My heart beat faster. I touched the brick below the hole. It felt loose. I pushed it gently and it slid out. Behind the brick was a small metal box, rusty but still solid. I opened it. Inside were three things: a tiny silver fish charm, a picture of a smiling boy holding a cat, and a short note. The note said, "For my cat Luna. She loved watching the fish light on the wall every afternoon. When I grow up and leave this house, I don't want anyone to forget her favorite moment." I looked at the cat. Was this Luna's relative? Maybe. It stared at the fish light again, just like the cat in the picture. At that moment, the reflection faded. The sun moved. The fish disappeared. The cat blinked and slowly walked away, its tail high in the air. Mystery solved. Not a ghost, not magic. Just sunlight, a metal pipe, and a boy who loved his cat. I took the silver fish charm inside and placed the box back behind the brick. Some secrets deserve to stay where they belong. The next day, at 5:05, the cat returned to watch the fish again. And this time, I watched it with it, knowing the story behind the light. Important vocabulary: B1 to B2 level. Reflection: when light bounces off a surface. Mysterious: strange and hard to explain. Inspect: to look at something carefully. Shadow: a dark shape made by blocking light. Discover: to find something that was hidden. Angle: the direction from which light or an object moves. Fade: to slowly disappear. Rusty: covered in rust. Carefully: in a safe or gentle way. Secret: something hidden or unknown.